So, like...
And the next episode starts with, Rika's mom taking Rika to, like, a photo shoot, I guess.
Yeah, like...
And...
I don't have that many images for this one, but it's like... This does feel like a big episode, kind of.
It feels bigger than the previous one.
Yeah, that's true.
And it might have a bit to do with Ridamon or Cubimon's evolution being more symbolic.
Yeah.
Rapidmon just gets a power increase. Talmon is a symbolic evolution.
Yeah. So episode 18, by the way.
Yeah.
So, like, the question is raised, are centaurs furries?
In the sense that he's, like, weirdly attracted to Renamon and he's not, like, a fox, yeah.
Does it work like that?
Sure, I don't know.
I don't know, like, if one person's a dog and another person's, like, a cat or something, and the dog's into the cat, is the dog a furry? Like, is that, like, what they're, like, effing, like, to them, you know?
I don't know. It's a stupid, line of thought anyways.
But...
When both beings are made of data, and he specifically says that Renamon's data is beautiful, I guess not.
Sure.
Because before they're animals, they're data.
Yes. I guess that makes sense. So, like, I'm trying to think of an example, because, like, effing, like, Andromon goes with, like, Leomon. Is she a furry?
I don't know. These questions don't matter.
But, like, how... There's a lot on the plate right now, you know?
There's really not.
It's a complicated issue.
Really not. A being of data being attracted to a being of data makes as much sense as a human being attracted to a human.
So Wolf, alright, hear me out. Wolf, it's like, it's effing like, I'm trying to think, what's like a humanoid Digimon that's like, it's like Andromon, just walks up, and he's like, hey, I'm into trees. And he sees a Woodmon, and he's like, I like you because you're a tree. Like, what is that?
It's still data shaped like a tree.
No, but he's not to the data, he's into the tree part.
But they're still the same type of being.
Would that just be a kink, like, just generalized?
I guess.
Yeah, sure, why not? These are the questions that we want to answer here on the Anispective cast.
These are the questions that you want to answer.
You know what? Sure, I'll take that. These are the questions I want answered. Please give me answers in the comments below.
So anyways. Doesn't Mon show up at some point? No, right?
No, I don't think he does in this episode.
No, for some reason I thought he did. No, it starts at the photo shoot thing, and then Rika freaks out over a camera and runs away.
Yeah, I want to point out that it's like, very specifically, it's like, they get all dolled up for the photo shoot, and like, Rika's like arguing with her mother, and she's like, no, but I hate these clothes, I hate this. And like, guy she's with is like, hey, don't be like that. And he's like, they look really good on you, They actually, like, compliment you really well. And, she, like, kind of smiles and she's like, she doesn't want to let on that she likes being praised, but it's like, well, like, if he says it like that, it's not as bad as, like, kind of the implication here.
Rika clearly has underlying issues with her mother.
Yeah, it's like...
Because she's like, oh, I like, you hate Western clothes and I can't stand it. And she's like, I don't hate Western clothes, I hate them because you chose them.
Yeah, like... Because it's like kind of a similar feeling thing, but it's like it's clear that the issue is like, more with like her mother trying to like force her lifestyle onto her and like try to like
Yeah.
force her to be more girly than it's like, with like girly things in general. So it's like if you look at it from that perspective, then it's like, her entire like tomboyish kind of like, attire and stuff probably like just 100% stems from her trying to like, find her like own style independent of like what her mother wants.
It's Rika rebelling.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, I don't know. I kind of get it. Like, because Rika's not wrong. Her mother's, like, trying to force all this onto her very clearly.
Yeah. And that has very clear parallels for like later in the episode. Where it's like, like, essentially it's like not a whole lot happens. A lot of it's just like set up as like Vajramon prepares like a data field in the baseball stadium.
We're skipping by a lot of the episode, but that's because not a lot of it actually matters.
Yeah. Like, the big thing that matters is that it's like, Romon, like, ran off to, like, just see what's going on with Vajramon. And he's like, oh, your data's so beautiful, please, like, join our side. We could use, like, awesome Digimon like you. And he's, like, trying to force Romon to join him super hard. And, like, Romon's kind of, like, playing along just to get information. But the big takeaway is that Romon's like, no, like, I reject your lifestyle, like, I want to be with Rika, and, like, I want to, like, do my own thing. And, like, Rika tries fighting him, but he's too strong. But then Rika just, like... Sorry, did I say Rika tried fighting him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not right.
Renamon's just fighting Vajramon, and Vajramon is actually, like, not wanting to fight.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to fight you, I want you to join us, because our god is the god of all Digimon. And he's like, yeah, like, don't make me do this. I will destroy you if I have to, but I really don't want to, because you're hot. That's basically what this boils down to, doesn't it?
Kinda, yeah. He is very specifically like, come live with us, live with me.
Yeah. And, like, Cubimon's like, no, and he's like, I reject that response, do it, coward.
So, yeah, they're fighting, and Cubimon can't actually do any damage, but Cubimon very much refuses to join Vajramon.
Yeah.
And then Rika, like, is reaching into her pack for cards to use to power up Cubimon, and she pulls out the blue card.
Yeah.
So like I said, the blue card just kind of materializes when it's needed.
Yeah. So, if Cubimon did join them, would they just give Cubimon one of those neck scarves too?
I don't know. It wouldn't fit. There's no fox on the Chinese zodiac.
Yeah, but, like, if they did,
Yes, I don't know.
Like,
but yeah.
Hang on. Actually, that gives me a weird idea, because, like, could Cubimon evolve into one of the other Zodiac animals? Because Cubimon's a champion.
I don't know.
Like, could she, like, become the next tiger or something? Because, like, probably not, like, canned sources, but they do have that beast data, so, like, I don't know, it might be possible.
Yeah, I don't know. It says next forms, and then it only lists Talmon.
Okay, that's weird, because, like, Duomon should at least be on that list.
Who?
It's like effing... There's two different types of evil Talmon, and, like, one's, like, dark, and one's, like, pale or whatever. It's like Duomon, Duomon. I believe it's called. Let me look this up. I believe that's...
There's like a fan Digimon called Duomon.
What the crap? Why isn't Duomon, like, on the thing? Alright, hang on. I got...
Domon. Doumon. Domon.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, because it's probably like a thing. Yeah, okay.
Prior forms Yokomon, which is just a dark Cubimon.
Okay. Makes sense, I guess, but that's still really weird, because, like, I'd assume Cubimon could do that. I know.
Domon, and then Domon turns into Kuzuhamon.
Wait, partners? What the crap? Who the crap is Midnight?
I don't know. It's probably from some series that we haven't seen. Um,
Alright, I don't know. What the crap is this tamer that's just called effing Midnight?
I bet it's from like a card game or something.
Characters in Digimon Fusion, antagonists. Oh, antagonist, huh? Why is it showing me a picture of the Spider-Verse Gav here? Why is it just showing me an emblem? What the crap? Oh, it's an organization. Oh. Why is this listed as Tamers then?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking though. It's like Midnight must be like an organization or something.
That's so weird. What the heck? But yeah, like, effing Cubimon evolves.
And hey, guess what? It's a super good evolution sequence. You know why? It's not 3D.
Oh, heck yeah, like, yeah, it's like super good 2D too. Like, look at this image. This lighting looks rad.
Yeah, the whole evolution sequence looks really good, and it's partially helped by the fact that none of it is like 3D. It's all 2D animated.
Yeah.
And then Vajramon gets violently angry because Talmon looks like a human.
Yeah, which is like the whole thing with QB because they want to become more humanoid.
Yeah. So here's the weird thing about it. I thought Vajramon's goal was like to unite Digimon without like human partners, and suddenly it's about Beast Digimon versus humanoid Digimon.
Kind of. He does also say you evolved wrong, so like, yeah, the implication seems to be it's like, oh, you like, if you're gonna evolve, at least turn to something that's not like, replicating humans.
So I theorized that this might be the birth of the premise for Digimon Frontier.
Possibly.
Or at least Digimon Frontier's backstory.
Yeah. I have a feeling that, like, the whole, like, oh, you can't be a humanoid Digimon is probably just Vajramon saying stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like, the others seem to be pretty united, and, like, oh, Digimon versus just humans overall, not Digimon versus, like, humanoid Digimon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I do want to notice, like, I do want to point out that, like, I did get an image of this, but there is, like, a quick random animation error in, like, Talmon's evolution.
Oh.
Where it's like, it zooms on her face, and she has, like, whites behind her, like, pupils, And, like, when you see her in the series, and, like, every depiction outside of that, like, they're black, it's, like, black with, like, blue pupils as, like, her eyes. So it's like, there's just one frame of, like, oh, they, like, didn't do the thing correctly. And it's super interesting that it's, like, in the evolution, because that, like, I feel like that kind of does imply that, like, maybe this is how the design was supposed to look, and then they changed it, right?
Black with blue pupils looks better anyways.
Yeah, it looks way better, and it was probably, like, a last-minute decision, it feels like. Yeah, so she just fights Vajramon and just wins because Talmon has a giant paintbrush.
Yeah, so most of the fight is Talmon dodging Vajramon and, like, using her sleeves as, like, weapons to deflect the sword.
Yeah, and she's like shooting like Tau charms out of her sleeves like effing machine gun fire.
Yeah. So the sad thing about Talmon is that Talmon's probably my favorite of the three ultimate designs. I think Talmon doesn't actually do much ever.
That really makes sense, because if I remember right, it's like a lot of the time Talmon's more of like, like a specialist Digimon, right? Like, she
Talmon's the support.
exists to be like an like, ghost Digimon, essentially.
Yeah, even, like, and I guess it kind of makes sense they don't have her do much because it seems like if she paints the symbol on you, you die.
Yeah.
She uses her signature move, paints a talisman on Vajramon, and he explodes.
Yeah. When, like, I'll clarify, when we say she paints on you, it's not like she, like, has to physically get in close and, like, hit you with the brush. She just makes the symbol in the air and it just appears on your body.
Yeah, Talmon just has Okami's celestial brush.
You just, like, freeze time and you just draw the infinity on the enemy and they just explode into flames.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if that's something Talmon could do. Not specifically like that symbol, but I wouldn't be surprised if Talmon could paint the symbol for fire and then it would, like, fire would burst out of the enemy.
Talmon just knows Inferno. No, wait, it's called Supernova, isn't it? Yeah, when it's like without the fire source, it's Supernova.
Maybe. I don't actually remember.
Jeez.
But yeah, Vajramon dead.
Yeah, dude's gone.
And
like, that's kind of the episode. They're like, they go back and like, Rika looks at Romon. She's like, yeah, you really are beautiful, and Romon's just like, and that's it.
That's it.
It's like, yeah, because, Rika actually, like, understands you to some extent beyond just trying to force this onto you so it means something. Just like the, like, opening of the episode. It's like a big parallel. And it's, like, not forced, which makes it actually kind of work. So, yeah, like, any thoughts, I guess?
Not really. Good episode, I think.
Yeah. Which of these three was your favorite, I feel like?
18, easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's more to it. There's more to it than just a new form and then we beat the bad guy, or random Digimon attacks and then we beat it.
Yeah, there's, like, more to it. It's, like, a bit more interesting. Like, we learn a bit more about, like, the villain group. Like, the antagonist has more of a personality to him,
Yeah, we learn a little more about Rika. Not a lot, but just a little bit.
Yeah.
Talmon's evolution is symbolic of her, like, working with humans.
I do mention it's like, we don't learn a huge lot about how their group works, but we do learn a bit. Because they're like...
I don't actually think we learned anything more than what we already knew.
I know, Ramon does just kind of question them, and they're like, oh yeah, you have to, like, our sovereign can, like, make you evolve or something, is, like, something I think they say.
I don't remember that. All I remember is that Vajramon, or Renamon asks Vajramon about their god, and then he's just like, oh, but you're beautiful, and blah, 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 and he won't give a direct answer.
Yeah. It's like, come join us, because data. Like, do you think that, like, how, like, effing furries, right?
I'm not...
Like, cause Romon's a thing in the furry community, like, for sure.
Yeah.
You think this episode helped spark that?
This whole series helps spark that.
Cause, like, Romon's, of course, like, the design is kind of like, she has a bit of a figure to her and stuff like that, and she's also just the coolest character just all the time. But this is very specifically, like, someone just being like, oh yeah, that's hot, you know? And the big takeaway of the episode's like, oh yeah, that's hot.
It's not this episode specifically. There's no way. People probably saw Renamon for the first time, and there were children, and they were probably like, huh, why do I feel weird when I look at Renamon? And it's not because Renamon is a fox, but it's because they're about the age where they're probably about to hit puberty, and Renamon kind of has a female shape and is voiced by a woman, and they were like, huh.
Alright, further question. How intentional do you think that was?
Not intentional at all.
Because, like, you say that, but this episode does exist.
Yeah, and there's nothing... Yeah, and Vajramon is interested in her as Data. There's no... There's absolutely... Like, the only time anyone says that Renamon is beautiful, like literally, is Rika.
Yes. Yeah, sure, I guess. I feel like I'll go a counterpoint, but I feel like that'd also be going like, oh, weird. Yeah, whatever, forget. Like, into podcast, good night, everybody.
Like people's kinks are definitely influenced by the crap they watched as kids.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Dude, I'm trying to think, it's like, how much do we want to get into this?
There's not much more to get into. But yeah, like, it's not even like an anime thing. Like, there are instances
of Tony the Tiger, man.
Yeah, I guess Tony the Tiger is a huge, like, furry fan base for him.
I'm sure I mentioned this at some point, but do you remember hearing about the effing, like, Twitter war between Tony the Tiger and the furry community?
Yes.
Where it's like, furries found his, like, Twitter account because Frosted Flakes, and they were just relentlessly, like, spamming it with stuff like Spank Me Daddy. Because Tony the Tiger. And, like, the guy running the account got so upset that he just started mass banning people and, like, swearing out people in the Twitter posts.
Yeah. So like I was saying, this isn't just by anime. Here's a character from the Animaniac. Why is that the image it came up with?
Wait, where'd you find this image?
This is from the Animaniacs wiki for Minerva Mink. I don't know why this is the preview image.
What the crap?
Because that's not the image for her on the actual wiki. Okay, there is a picture of her, like, in concept art, and I guess it pulled from that for some reason.
Huh. You think there's anyone out there who just saw Leomon and they're just like, oh yeah. And, like, he died and, like, they're just super upset.
Could be.
Like, every time Leomon dies, they just, have a big, like, Twitter thing about, like, oh no, Leomon's gone again, cry face or whatever.
Bring up the image? Of course not. Why would it just work?
What the crap are you linking me?
So,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a picture of the character, that I was trying to post.
Yeah, I don't get why people give kids this much bait. Cause, like, I mean, is there your way to, like, describe what this is, you know?
They were just, apparently the inspiration was Marilyn Monroe, and they just wanted to make a parody character, and they didn't, like I said, this probably didn't really exist until around the 90s or so, when these characters were, like, created, and then people grew up with these characters. And like I said, they're around the age group where it's like, huh, that's weird. Why do I feel strange looking at this character?
I do want to raise a weird counterpoint.
Were born.
I think, like, there are a lot of characters in mythology that are just like, oh, person plus animal, or like person becomes animal or whatever. So furries have been around for a while.
You're totally right.
They're totally like kids who like grew up hearing about the Minotaur and they're just like, "Aw, spank me, bull daddy."
God.
Like, this has probably been a thing for a while.
Yeah, but like, it didn't really become a thing until like the 90s or so.
Yeah, like, I don't think there are that many Greeks in fursuits.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I say that, but no, that's the entire, like, premise of the Minotaur myth, isn't it? Because, like, doesn't, like, someone, like, dress up, like, as a cow so that, like,
Yes, she does. Oh yeah, the bowl of Crete or whatever.
Yeah. And that just sort of becomes the thing. It's like, oh yeah, Minotaur's born. Oh, we have to seal away this monster. And like, I'm sure some people are just like, or alternatively, what if we just let him do whatever he wants and give him lots of headpats? Should we just call this the episode?
Yeah.
Should we title this episode "Spank Me, Bull Daddy"?
You do what you want. YouTube might decide not to show that to people.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll consider it. See you around
Later.
later.